football, culture, movement.
Listen, I'm not going to bore you with the normal intro today. Listen, I'm here for a very, very important reason. The hate in my veins is bubbling. I have had a meal that will fill me from now to that kingdom come. Today, we eat. We eat like kings. This is going to be an absolute move. So before we go any further, please send this to your friends. If you enjoyed the hate watch, send it to them. We are going to celebrate. This is what we've been waiting for. This means more, guys. I promise you. FCM, you already know what time it is. The F in FCM, Fuad Kadani's to my right. You already know what time it is when you hear the bark.
Hey.
The culture, the C in FCM is not here, but he sends his regards. I am the M. You already know what time it is. My Kodri production is away as well. But we do have Arsenal representation making his debut on FCM in treacherous conditions. It is James.
Hey.
Hello.
I appreciate you being on today, brother. I know this isn't an easy one to be on. What's all this ruffling? Oh, what? You're already handing out bottles?
Is this a bottle?
Wow.
Joke? Is this a...
Wow.
Yeah, a couple more coming up, I imagine. Yeah. Let me just pop them here. No. Thanks, man.
I need one for myself.
Hey.
I'm a bit parched after everything I ate. I'm a bit parched after everything I ate, you get me? But listen, man, like, share, subscribe, everything, algorithm. I don't even know what I'm saying right now. I'm just so excited. Chelsea didn't even play, so all of my focus, all of my energy was, I'm revitalized. Listen, man, like, share, subscribe. You already know what time it is. Listen, should we get into the normal bits, as is custom?
Yeah.
Let's
do our customary bits.
If your team played this week and you went out there and you got your dub and you did what needed to be done, hold tight the 3-point collectors.
Hey,
It's important.
Yeah.
We clap for them.
Yeah.
I mean,
You clap for the 3-point collectors. For those that participated and didn't get the 3 points, we usually do like a little tap.
You get a little something.
And then for those that just, we have a special space where we give shout outs. Those that lost back-to-back games at home, we give you a thumbs up. Those that lost to old managers and old players, we give you a double thumbs up as well. But listen, man, let's go into it, man.
Good evening. Let's get into it.
It is a good evening, isn't it? It is a good evening. It's a great evening. You having a good evening?
I don't know why I agreed to this. Jason.
So I feel so bad for Jason.
Do you want to be on FCM? I'm like,
I wanted to get him on for so
FCM.
long, and it's like, the episode he comes on, we had knives waiting for him as he walked through the studio. So it's like,
Turkish came in on a nice 1-1 at Anfield. Like he left with something. Here I am trying to defend Unai Emery.
Welcome to the Lions, then, brother.
On a real though, before we go into full hysterics and whatnot, Arsenal perspective in the moment, how are you feeling about this season and the title charge right now after 2-0 loss to Villa?
Do you know, I was so looking forward to coming on here, especially after the Liverpool defeat, and actually chatting properly about football, Arsenal, our season.
We are going to chat properly.
But I don't know if I can. You know me, I try to keep it just calm, just whatever, and let's just talk about what the facts, where are we? And look, let's get this out of the way. Mathematically, of course, it's not done. But I said the minute we fell behind City in this title race, with the list of fixtures they had, I felt it was done. Now, that's not me, because fans in the comments will be all like, oh, you're just throwing it away. One bad result, one defeat in 12 in 2024, and that's it, it's done. But it's not like, it's as Turkish just said on the watch on, when do City let go of a lead like this? We're going to need a Man United style capitulation like City had when they first won the title, and I just don't see that coming from them. Arsenal, Liverpool, listen, bad day for both at home against teams they'd have expected to beat. They should have just kept things moving this weekend with all three teams playing at home. They should have just kept it moving on to next week.
Yep.
But it might have become the defining weekend in the title race. I'm honestly gutted, and for a million reasons. It's the defeat. It's who we've lost to. It's the fact we should have been 3-0 up at half time. It's then a second half that it wasn't just because can we just take this in for a sec, right? They didn't sucker punch us. They didn't just counter-attack and get us done. They walloped us for that second half. 45 minutes, we could not get near their goal. Guys, we were outclassed today. I don't know what Emery did because, listen, I'm going to have to go through the pain of rewatching that back for AFTV Tactical Insight, however. But he did something in that second half. If you can enlighten me, please do. Because suddenly, that first half, I thought Erdegaard for 45 minutes looked the best player in the world. I was thinking, oh my word, it will come. All right, we've missed a chance, it will happen. Suddenly, it went from almost a 10 out of 10 performance without the goal. Obviously, taking your chances matters in measuring performance. But then a second half where I just thought, this is the antithesis of what we've been all season. I'm genuinely gutted, man, because it's a shock, like, for our performance to have dropped that much.
And is it kind of reminiscent of almost a little bit of last season where it's at that point as well? And in a home fixture as well, I think is almost the more disappointing bit as well. Because, as you said, the way the first half went, I thought you lot were going to come out second half 2, 3, 4 maybe. Good, but that's where I feel like we kind of have to look at the managers today. And you have to give Unai massive respect and credit.
Facts.
Because that is what he did. Tactically, he turned it around in the second half. He said, Odegaard, you're running the show, right? Second half, you're not seeing none of the ball. And this is without Douglas Luiz there starting clapper, let's be honest as well. It's with Tielemans and McGinn. So I was like, yo, the way Villa turned that around in the second half. But then you have to look at Arteta in terms of why did that not carry on into the second half? And then even some of the substitutions were like Ben White for Tomiyasu and stuff like that, where I was just like...
ESR for Odegaard.
Yeah.
He was looking a bit leggy though. He was, I have to say that.
And I want to ask you, like, what do you make of kind of Arteta's decisions and things like that today? Because even the decision to move Havertz into midfield, I thought, listen...
Weird.
You tried for 6-7 months, whatever it was, and saw that this was getting nothing out of him, basically trying in midfield. But then once you got him playing in that 9 role, all of a sudden the past month and a half, you've been able to see a different player, past 2 months, if you like.
Yeah.
Why move him back to that position to accommodate Jesus? And basically Jesus doing exactly what he did last year, let's be honest.
Do you remember the 3-0 Brighton defeat at the Emirates at the end of last season? Where, in fairness, our capitulation had come a little bit before that. But that first half against Brighton, we had chances, we pressed them well, going at half-time, you think build on it. But De Zerbi did more at half-time to impact the game. They go on and score 3. Felt exactly the same in this game, where you just thought, how are we seeing 2 different Arsenals? Now, with the Havertz thing, moving him back to midfield, I'm conflicted because I saw the 11, I thought, I don't want this, man. This might be too far, but I've borderline really disliked Havertz in midfield. Not even like, oh, he's not quite doing it. I've been like, he's not a midfielder. He doesn't want the ball to feet. He doesn't want to control the game. He doesn't want to take initiative. But I tweeted at half-time, I thought he did all right. His underlaps were cutting through them. He was getting to really good areas. His work rate off the ball, he was getting alongside Rice winning the ball. You saw that a 6'4" player put his body about. So I was okay with it. But you're right, ultimately across the 90 minutes, he didn't have the impact you want to see. But it wasn't just moving Havertz there. It's then Rice regressed to 6, where obviously some people say that's his best position, but you're expecting him to be more of a ball winner. I think he struggled to get in the game and give us control of the game in that second half.
Yeah.
Jorginho comes on too late. Zinchenko, you saw the best and worst of him today. At times, you're thinking, yeah, neat ball player, good touch, whatever. At times, he's dribbling into players on the edge of his penalty area.
I can't lie to you. I thought Zinchenko was on a sabotage mission in the second half.
It was second half, I don't know what he was doing.
When will we speak about
second half, it was almost like he was saying, yo, Kivior, I'm going to do my best this half to make sure you start every single game till the end of the season.
Why have we moved away from this? All 2024, the centre-backs at full-back has worked for us. Why have we just decided we don't need this now?
We've got Super Mick Arteta. He's gonna win the league with Gabby in attack and Zinny at the back. Oh, he's coming to the Premier League. No! That's why Mikel Arteta, brother. That is the sole reason why I feel like today. I'm sorry.
Is he the reason they missed all those chances, man?
No, I don't even look at that.
So
but
fair.
in terms
You
of
see with this year, we've gone through like, because obviously like you break down the game and everything. I just want to paint the scene here.
Yeah.
You mentioned it was in 2024. You had only dropped points to City.
Yeah.
Right. We were saying that Arsenal need to learn from their mistakes of last year and finish strong because Manchester City know how to do that.
Yeah.
You both played European football in the week. Cool. Mm-hmm. Granted. And Villa did as well. They played on the Thursday. Let's remember that.
Later.
They played on the Thursday. Mm-hmm. The weekend comes. City go and do what they need to do. 5-1. Boom. Bish, bash, bosh. You watch Anfield and you see that Liverpool lose. And you think, okay.
That should get your tails up.
all that everyone said
Tails
was,
up.
I promise you, this is not me making up things. Every single comment, Arteta's talk is sorted for him.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to say anything to the boys. What I saw in the second half was Emery know what to do, when to do, how to do it. But it also showed me that hatred is one of the most powerful things in football.
Facts.
But also, when the goings gets tough, things will come to light. Because we haven't even talked about the 2 chances. Of course, yes. Who missed the chance where Martina saved it for you? Trossard misses that chance.
Hitting it right back across.
We ain't spoke about the crossbar. We ain't spoke about the post for Villa. We haven't spoke about their chances.
Yeah.
We haven't spoke about their chances. We haven't spoke about the fact that they were relentless. So, tactic-wise, you guys weren't there. Performance and actually wanting it wise, it seemed like they wanted it more than you. After the game, there was this little clip where Bailey goes to the camera and he goes, "That's 3 more points." They didn't even care about beating you. They care about securing top 4. It's like their hunger for top 4 was somehow greater than your hunger to try and win the league. Tell me if I'm over-exaggerating that, but that's what I saw in the second half.
Turkish said at the full time of the watch, and I think he was spot on. He's like, why do the players not look that bothered? And he doesn't just mean the full-time reaction. Thing is, there's another way, The Liverpool players at full-time today, I don't know if you saw, head in hands, they look like they just lost the championship. And the thing is, there's 2 ways, You don't want that because they are still within 2 points of City. Anything can happen. And you want to... But then there's us where I thought, you lot don't look bothered. But it's not even that because maybe save face, maybe... It's in the second half. They didn't look bothered. There wasn't a foul. There wasn't a.
Even the press wasn't there. I'm telling you.
And if Villa are going to attack you more, you think, well, there must be space the other way. The high line, all this, nothing. Martinelli had no impact. Jesus couldn't do something with that extra space in behind. That we couldn't find a ball over the top to Kai Havertz. It was, that word "want" is overused in football. I think sometimes pundits like to resort to, they should wanted it more. And it's like today, I definitely come out of that thinking. I'm not using tiredness from Bayern as an excuse because Villa played 2 days after in a tough game against Lille and they all worked hard in that game. Lille have scored. Brentford from 2-0 down turned it around against them. we had 8 more minutes of football to play. We saw what Brentford did in 8 minutes against them last week and we couldn't find a gear. So that word "want" sticks with me today. I'm like, why did you guys look like today was just you're out the title race but top 4 security, don't really know. It looked like we had nothing to play for.
This is why you don't count your chickens. This is what Doyle was saying last week. And people were trying to get onto him about, saying, what do you mean we feel like we won the title? It's like that over celebration over the past couple of weeks where it's like, you almost feel like you've got the title locked and secured. It's games like this that are coming up. There's North London derby still to come up. You've still got to go Old Trafford as well. So it was like everybody could almost foresee these things except Arsenal fans, it felt like. And today I felt like was one of those reality checks where it's like, don't think Arteta can do it all and win it all and it's going to be that easy because Champions League midweek should have let you know that as well. That was a reality check for you. So it's like now within a week you could go from, we're going to do a lot this season to, hold on, we're at the Champions League, we're behind in the title race to the all-time winning machine, let's be honest. And now it's like, hold on, what are we left with? It's not looking good, bruv. So listen, you don't want to be over dramatic as well and act like it's down and out, but it's the manner and the way you lost the game in that second half. It's the effort that you showed in that second half, and it kind of takes you flashbacks to moments of last season where it was against West Ham, was it Nottingham Forest, where those types of games where you're just thinking these should be a cakewalk. These should be, as you were saying at the start, move on to next week. And when you throw these types of games away, it's like, hold on, you shot yourselves in the foot, let alone anybody else. So Villa. Listen, you have to give them massive credit today for me.
In football, you never want false comforts. You never want them. At the end of the day, whenever we speak about Man City and people like, oh, here we go, City title respect. It's because they have been there and they have done it. I could almost bet my house that they will not lose to the end of the season because I have seen it. I have proof. I know what happens when it comes to that time in that changing room. When people said the opposite about Arsenal, about this run, people got offended. But the truth is, last year, April was particularly difficult because there was one game where you didn't do something and then it had a trickling effect.
Never underestimate experience, man.
Listen, and that's why, in order for something not to happen again, you have to make sure that things are done differently. And obviously, you've brought in more experience. Declan Rice is in there. But again, when you're playing against a team like Villa, who Villa have had, you mentioned it last week, their form's been a bit indifferent. But they had two things today. They had the wants and they had hatred. Emi Martinez was never going to lose at Emirates Day. I'm sorry. Whether you think, oh, that's not proper football chat, he was not losing at Emirates Day. And you know what? Emery was not losing at Emirates today as well. So they said, we are leaving with something.
Emery got their lick back.
Emery got his lick back.
Martinez got his lick back. And Xhaka lifted the trophy today.
You see what I'm saying?
Rough day, boy.
You see what I'm saying? But listen, I've got. There's loads of super chats I want to go through here. There's loads of comments coming through. I want to play this voice note as well. Obviously, Culture Cams isn't here. He's getting some suntans, but he sent this in. Let me play this now.
See, this is why we love the game called football. Because of results like today. Football is not a science. It is not a science. People talking about sustainable this, sustainable that. Play the game. Play the game. Emery, you can't say anything about Villa without an Arsenal fan in your damn mention saying, Emery, running Emery. What about running Arteta? What about running Arteta? We've seen him bottle title races. We've seen him bottle top 4. Not going to call this one a bottle now, but surveillance is on. You're under surveillance. Liverpool, farewell tour, hype. Less of that. You ain't Pep, you ain't Fergie. You ain't getting a farewell tour, Klopp. They don't love you like that. They don't love you like that. What did Kendrick say? Fuck a big three, it's only big me. That's Fergie. Bye-bye. Listen, I'm back next week.
Hey.
I'm back next week. Catching Suns, rest and recovery. See you lot there.
Boy.
Hey, Culture Cans, what a monologue.
Boy, listen. I don't know if there's much more to say after that. I feel like, again, the title is not done by any means, but it's a very pivotal moment for two rivals to drop in a 3-horse race and for City to be looking there and thinking, we ain't even, we've all said all season, City have not even hit final stride yet. People have mocked Haaland all season. People have said they've not had someone to raise up and be a saviour. Yet they're now in the position. Somehow City always just managed to wiggle themselves into the lead.
Yeah.
So now...
Let me ask you though, do you feel like, I always feel like, when I look at Arsenal squad, like Odegaard is obviously the most creative player and kind of the hub. But I always feel like every top team needs a player who can almost like make something out of nothing. That X factor that we talk about. And
thank
listen,
you so much for
Saka's a brilliant player, but personally, I don't think he has that. But do you feel like that's the type of profile Arsenal is missing? And in these types of games as well? Because I'm looking at like Trossard, well-deserved start today, but anytime I've seen him kind of start the season, he's kind of put in these types of performances. I always feel like he's better coming off the bench. You've seen Havertz go into midfield. Those would be the kind of signings that you've made over the past year or so that are meant to make the difference in these types of moments. Do you feel like that's where Arteta's maybe missed something in the market?
Okay. I've had my rant and my frustrations, but let me also say this, and I'm going to answer your question, but let me kind of build to it. The first half, we did more than enough to win that game in that first 45. I genuinely believe that. The chances we had, the football we were playing, I was like,
Havertz,
oh my word.
The two chances he had, put them away.
Trossard had one, Jesus header the back post. I'm thinking we're cutting them open time and time again. So tactically we're doing something right. Arteta's got something right in his team talk. The players are mentally got something right. Second half, it's what makes me lean more towards Emery praise, because you don't just come out the second half and start feeling bad about yourselves, or so something must have changed there.
Yeah.
But Arteta didn't react. You then talk about, you mentioned there, the word is quality, Fuad. Like, let's run back in our minds some of City's recent goals. Gvardiol, 2 right foot outside of the box, top corner,
Foden.
Side netting. Phil Foden, struggling at the Bernabeu. They're having chance, we're getting caught in transition, but let me put it in the top corner.
Bernardo Silva, minute of magic.
De Bruyne at Palace. Name me the last goal from outside the penalty area Arsenal scored. Maybe Declan Rice at West Ham.
I was just about to say Declan Rice.
That was the 6th, by the way.
Yeah.
So wouldn't have made any difference, apart from we had a good time with it.
Yeah.
Like, Arsenal, for whatever reason, well, not for whatever reason, it's not. City have the best manager, the best players, the experience. So being 2 points off them with 6 games to go, when you've won 10 out of 12 and drawn once at the Etihad, you know what? A bad day against Villa, it can happen. On a day where you could have won it too. So no one needs to tear down what this Arsenal team are doing. But there is just that question, like, why are we not ready? And some of it's experience, some of it is bottles, some of it is mentality. Why in that second half could you not react to the fact that Villa got back in the game? We had to do something different. But I think also at the same time, I've seen City not be great this season. But quality comes through. Quality, they go, we can win this. Doesn't need to be Pep today that wins us this game. Doesn't need to be an error. It could be me, Kevin De Bruyne. And not everyone's a Kevin De Bruyne, not everyone's a Phil Foden. But what is Josko Gvardiol on the edge of the penalty area, the greatest threat in the Premier League? And he's popped up with 2 goals. Like, we are lacking a little bit of that as well. And I was watching us today, and the more we let slip that game, this is still a 0-0, I was thinking, I said on the watch along, so I'm not just saying this now, it's not hindsight. I said on the watch along, Villa are way more likely to win this than we are right now, the way we're playing.
Do you know what's
and I think
interesting?
everybody was kind of expecting that inevitable Rice 83rd minute
The
to kind
dagger,
of come,
yeah.
but Villa, as I said,
we never had the ball. We
tactically,
never got near
job
them.
they did.
Where was
man.
it coming from?
Before I go into these super chats, the reason why I find that so interesting is because you're mentioning like that panache, that bit of quality.
Yeah.
And then you look at the other title rivals in Liverpool, in which we're going to them eventually. They've been doing this whole comeback kings brand of football, right? You look at how they've been recently. The issue that they've had today, especially, was no one managed to kill off the game. They had numerous amount of chances, Nunes, big chance missed. Nunes is almost like your Jesus in many senses, where like he does a lot of stuff here, but when we need you to kill the game, you're not.
Do you reckon you'll ever win a title if Jesus is your 9? If Jesus is the leading 9 in that team? Like, I know Havertz has come in the past 2 months, and I think a lot of Arsenal fans have maybe swayed more towards having him in the 9 now more than Jesus. But where do you stand? Are you kind of, because in terms of next season, I'm thinking, can you lot go into it again saying
this is our
Jesus and Havertz, that's going to be our 2-9 solution? Or are you of the mindset? Because just a couple of days ago, I was seeing reports, well, I don't know how true they are, but the interest on a striker's cooling because of Kai Havertz's recent form.
That really worries me, man. No signings should be made off, the last 10 games have been quite good. What? Like, you should be planning this for months. Yeah. And it's got to take something special to change your mind. Can we win the title with Jesus? Do you know, this isn't answering your question, but I'll try. Jesus, I've never been more confused about a footballer in my life. I watch him and I'm like, this guy's top. He is top. He did something in the first half, I only saw today, where he got the ball, he sent a player on the floor, he drove onto his left foot, and I'm like, that is quality, man. You made that happen. And then, a little bit earlier, ball comes into the box, back post, he headed it like an under 10, like a sort of eyes shut, and then sort of, and I'm like, and it wasn't that bad, but you know, I'm being hyperbolic, but you know that, like, head it back across goal, man, get your head on it and
put some neck in it.
Be a killer.
And I'm it just wasn't, and I watch him today, and I'm like, you were at times our best, at times our worst player. I don't know, just weird.
Do you know that's interesting?
Player.
Because you mentioned the whole Zinchenko thing. Those are 2 signings that elevated you from where you were. But I guess the question now is that enough to take you to the promised land? Because Zinchenko is looking like he's been phased out when Timber's back in the squad, and now it's like Jesus is Jesus or not. So it's almost like we always say that Arsenal kind of skipped 2 years of their progression. Last week we gave Arsenal a lot of plaudits, saying that they've gone from banter era to being a team where next year I know you guys are going to compete with City for the title again. That shows where you are. But like to what you're saying that City have the better manager, the better players. There's still a gap that needs to be closed, and therefore, are you saying that part of the process is getting better players?
Look, obviously adding player quality always helps. And this might be a bit of a rogue direction to go in, but I don't think these early exits from the Cups are a good thing. I don't think this kind of, we're out the Carabao, whatever, we're out the FA Cup,
we can
whatever.
focus on the Prem now.
Bigger fish to fry.
Oh, don't get me started. He's my boss. But like...
Hey, Robbie, we want your head!
On the skewer.
This kind of like, we lost in a cup competition, it doesn't really matter. Like, why? Why does it not matter? Because we're going to have to do something impeccable to beat Pep to the Premier League title, or to beat Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Man City, whoever it might be, to a Champions League. So why do we look at these others, which are trophies, which count? I always remember that list they read out Ferguson when he walked out for the final time at Old Trafford. They didn't leave the FA Cups and Carabao Cups off. They didn't leave the Community Shields off. They read them all. Like, why are we not... And, okay, listen, I'm not doing revisionism now on some cup exits. I was disappointed at the time. But if you're not getting quite there, then you do the other things at least. And
create a culture
culture of winning, a culture of going far in competitions, a culture of being used to
would it be
keeps you on your toes as well.
Would it be disappointing for you? Because this will be his 4th full season, right, Arteta?
Yeah.
It'd be disappointing for you. 4.5 years to just have one FA Cup to show for it.
Well, like, of course. Of course it would be. But at the same time, it's a bit like United last season got 3rd in the Carabao, and the debate was who had a better season, Arsenal finishing 2nd or United winning the Carabao Cup and finishing 3rd. Listen, silverware for me is always the better season, but I went into this season, and I was clipped up the other day in a good way for saying this. I said I thought United would regress. We kicked on. So trophies doesn't necessarily mean you're going the right direction, but for 4 years under Arteta since winning the FA Cup, because he didn't win that in his full season, I think we need to be taking them a little bit more serious. But look, I've gone on a total tangent on that. That's not the reason we didn't win today. I just think we're so disappointed because it's all on this now, the Premier League title, the Champions League. But did it have to be all on this? Like, I'm feeling a little bit like the pressure to keep up with Pep in City.
I think the bigger sort of like, not panic, but the bigger reason why probably loads of Arsenal fans are disappointed is, back to what I was saying before, you know that City have the ability to win every single game left. You know, it's like playing a game and knowing that you're against the CPU that's inevitable. You know that's what you have. You know that you have to almost have perfection to complete this mission. And again, this was a game where it didn't have to go like this. But let me go into some super chats. So we've got quite a few. Big up all of you inside. We've got some big people sending like 10 quids and whatnot. SN1990 says MC winning treble again and 4th Premier League in a row. It's done. We've got CKAJ saying domain expansion blue moon with a couple shark emojis. You know what that means. The shark team are eating.
In the chat today.
Nadir says, where is the Algerian fraud little Leah's youth saying all this slander on City and Haaland? We are unbeaten since December. It ain't easy. Blood in the water. The sharks are sniffing. GP says, last time Arsenal won Premier League, YouTube didn't exist. Facts. Interesting. Facts. Jay Ashley Martin, big up Jay's always inside, says, been a minute since I was able to watch live, and what a weekend too. And all Liverpool bottling and Arsenal bottling and all. Who's the real bottlers in North London? 2 years running.
3 with the top 4, right?
Conversation.
Shy One says, this is City's league, back-to-back trebles. Adam says, Madrid fumbling at the Bernabeu, Arsenal and Liverpool butting the league. Pep will never die. F that P word. Back-to-back trebles, you know. Boy.
Back-to-back trebles, can you imagine?
Pep. Boogeyman. Jorge De La Rosa says, I wouldn't be renewing Arteta, pardon me. Let him run it out.
Nah, you got to renew him, man.
You think that's
When's his contract run out?
I think he's maybe got another year or whatever, but you got to renew because there's nothing to lose. Like, if you want to sack him, you sack him.
Well, you lose the titles every year. You talk about.
But then you sack him. Like, just give him the contract, keep it moving. Like, and also, this is one defeat, guys. Like, we can't be doing all that about one game.
No, you got to let him finish the story like Cody Rhodes, man. You got to let him keep going, man. You can't just sack him now. Felipe Duggar says, at this point, Man City are like Verstappen. It doesn't matter how long you're in front. They will eventually catch you. I haven't lost hope in Arsenal, though. Come on, you Gunners.
Hamilton, please rise.
That's very on brand because, you know, I don't need to say much, but you get me. You get me. Like, no, but I'm saying, like, Hamilton, Arsenal, like, it's on brand. You get me.
He's an Arsenal fan, you know.
Shy One says bottling back-to-back bottling to a mid-table team. Only Arsenal. Tobias says just call Pep the GOAT. Every manager had money for their time. Pep has been dominant in every league with money and youth involvement. The GOAT. Shy One again says selling Zinchenko for 30 million worth it. Ake is a better left back.
Yeah, I think he showed it last year. In the title winning season where he was the best left back last year. Oh, Turkish, how are you, man? Just see Turkish properly in the studio, ladies and gentlemen. Just hit behind
man backed away like Simpsons into the hedges, you know.
You know what like this. Listen, man, the game is the game, bro.
If you want to say a few words, listen, I can borrow your mic. OZ says City managed to rotate 6 players with no quality drop. Again, that speaks to your point about the players.
Depth.
De Bruyne didn't start at the Bernabeu.
I mean, they could just afford to rest him.
Yeah,
it is, man.
It's unbelievable.
I think this is Quickie says these things happen. Only 2 points. It's not over. It is right. It's only 2 points. Easy Money Marin 7 says sending hate from Bulgaria. I love it.
Hey.
Inside.
Thank you.
We can feel it.
SH says, I think a lot of people, especially Liverpool fans, saw Palace getting something out of the game after the last couple of fixtures in Europa, Prem and FA Cup. I did not see Arsenal losing like that. Interesting. GP says, has Fuad ever listened to Diamond Lights drunk? Fuad doesn't drink, so no. Joshua says, Arsenal getting cuts like they were in that diss. That's a very funny super chat. Boy, listen.
Better luck next week, lads.
I think that the sentiment with Arsenal, to sum that up, is it's disappointment. It should be disappointment. We could laugh a lot more. We could have a lot of funnies here, but the season is not over. I think the funniest thing that could happen now is for both them to play each other in the Champions League.
Who would that be? Arsenal City?
That would be the funniest thing to happen right now.
Semi-final. Well, they'd have to obviously get through behind.
100%. But it would be the funniest thing to happen right now.
Crazy semi.
Lose points to Villa.
Get back in the Champions League.
Get some get back.
Ooh.
Play City. Lose to City. City win the league.
What? So we finished second Champions League semi-final, and City just basically are
the reason why you don't win the league, don't win Champions League.
Press or something.
Basically.
Nah, City will own your club.
Do you know what's crazy?
You will be
second and a semi-final in the Champions League.
It's an amazing season. It's a good season.
It's a great season.
Bloody good season.
But it's the fact that losing to City in the semis and then dropping it in the last couple of weeks.
Is it? I know it was. I know it was 7-8 months ago, but is it too late for a Community Shield Trophy parade, or is that?
Excuse me.
We can get the open top bus closed.
You're a sick man. You're a sick man, James.
No, so we can still wheel that out, can't we?
No.
We can't just.
No.
Right,
we can use it as a dinner plate.
I tell you what, don't want to go to Spurs yet
feast.
because we need to talk about Liverpool. But your role in this is absolutely hilarious because the double jeopardy of losing disgracefully this weekend, and then being helped by your rivals.
Do you know? Oh, mate.
To then being helped by your rivals to now be in a position where Arsenal
not even being helped because it's
Did you celebrate the Villa goals?
This is the worst thing. I was like, I'm in the ultimate confliction because Villa winning here takes them 3 points above us. But I was like, Arsenal's losing here.
I would have celebrated. In your position, I would have celebrated.
The way that I said that result for me was almost like the perfect get-out clause for yesterday's result because it was like, if Arsenal wins, Villa stay level. If Villa win, Arsenal hold an L. They drop points in the title race. If they both draw, they both drop points. They both lose in their race. I was like, it's a win-win regardless.
But it's now even messed up because obviously English teams doing well in Europe benefits you guys to get 5th place. Champions League qualification.
Oh, whoever gets 5th place.
Yeah. With how it stands, let's say you're not getting 4th, that would benefit you. At the same time, you have to play all of these teams.
Yeah.
So
City,
like, if
Arsenal,
you performed well, you would get top
Chelsea.
4. If you performed shit, you would have no effect on the league, and you'd need to rely on them to get 5th place Champions League. This is messed up.
For me, there's only one WrestleMania game on that fixture. And you know which one it is.
Where's that?
North London Derby, baby! Listen, that April 28th, that is our WrestleMania right there. You see that? We can put the final nail in the coffin and just put to bed their title hopes. Wow. And then next week, go to City and just say, oh, here you go, by the way. Frugal for the title.
Oh, no, own goal.
Mate. Oh, no.
Oh, man.
Oh, Van der Ven's on his head again. Oh, no. What are we going to do?
What is he like, eh? 4-0 City.
Oh, Basimo, you've lost possession again.
No.
Oh, man.
Oh, no. Vicario beat the near post.
Thailand.
There's a high line on their penalty area. This is what it is. Trust the process. We go again.
Listen.
Congrats on your title.
We got wickedness loaded for you lot.
Honestly.
We got wickedness loaded.
Oh, man. We've got to speak of Liverpool, though. I feel like Liverpool are probably getting away with it more because Arsenal was more recent.
Yeah.
But Liverpool have managed to lose back-to-back games at Anfield.
Bro, it's been a awful week for them from the United game. Let's not forget midweek to Atalanta as well. Like the FA Cup a couple weeks back as well. Boy. You almost feel like that started a trickling effect of the Klopp farewell tour. As Cam was saying, farewell tour hype, bro.
Have somehow derailed Liverpool's season. Hate is such a powerful tool.
And I remember when Cam was sat there saying like, yo, we're the ultimate party poopers. We love pooping. I was like, Fez.
What?
Fez. like, enjoy what you enjoy, but I didn't take that much stock into it.
Yeah.
Now I'm looking at a couple weeks back, I'm like, bruh, they really started almost like the crumble. It's like, it's crazy. And that game as well, if you see the Palace goal, bro, it was... But no, it was like Liverpool were in slow motion. You know when you're playing FIFA and your pad just switches off?
Yeah.
Man, we're just there like, okay, it's going left.
Yep.
It's going on the wing. It's coming back in the box. Oh no, we've conceded. I'm like, the fuck is going on here? It's like, and they were so like static and slow. You just felt like, I don't know what was going on today, but I feel like we really have to speak on that front line as well. Because Darwin Núñez, who's turn of the year, obviously... I'd sent him to the prisons of Azkaban in our last court case. But start of the year, he was like, brother, I'm trying to get out of here. I've been locked up for too long. And for 2 months, he was on this crazy purple patch. But as we always say, come April, come May, that's the business end. This is when it really counts. And the past couple of weeks, bro, he's been MIA in some of these performances. And today was another example where you're just like, it's not looking good, bro.
No.
Another man we have to touch on. Mohamed Salah.
Oh,
brother, please step to the front because you might be having a special court case for yourself. When it comes to this business end of Liverpool season, I think you sent me a tweet
so
earlier.
I'll read it out.
Please
I'll
go
read it
through the
out.
details of that tweet because it was a recurring thing I was noticing, but I was like, bro, last time when you came back from AFCON and it was like, yo, we need you for the business end of the season, it was a little bit sticky. Previous years when it's been Liverpool are in a title race and it's the last 12, 11 games, Sadio Mane, he's there. Robert Firmino, he's there. You're giving me 1 goal in like 11 games or something like that. I'm like, please, if you've got the tweet and the stats there, please
let's go
read them out
context for this season, right? Salah started this season, everyone was like, oh my gosh, he's got new dime packages, he's got this, he's got that.
Playmaking bag.
AFCON comes, cool. Egypt needs you. Lads, I'm not really about it. I'm going to rehab. Important season. Klopp's going away and whatnot. Cool, that's fine, no worries. So now that happens, you go and everything. Everyone's like, oh, listen, we need you. You come back. Okay, cool. Since he's been back, nothing's been happening. But let's actually look at the underlying numbers. 18-19, title race. What did Salah do? 7 games without a goal, carried by Sadio Mane. 21-22, carried by Mane and Diaz. Scored 0 goals outside of Leeds and United stat padding sessions. 23-24. Team was firing on all cylinders. Scoring for fun. Salah comes back and does his usual disappearing act. Big up Callum LFC for this tweet.
Wow.
He even put extra context. 18-19 is even worse than I thought. He had 1 goal and 11 during the period where we dropped like 6 points in 4 games. So that goes to say that Mo Salah, when your team needs you,
please rise.
No, he goes
Please rise.
No, he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to.
And let's not speak on his finals record as well. What is it? How many non-penalty goals in 11 finals? I think it's 0.
Listen, the thing is,
Listen, all I'm saying is
let's call it as
he's an incredible player.
He's
a Premier League legend. It's undisputed. He's one of Liverpool's greatest players in history. It's undisputed. He's an incredible goal scorer. It's undisputed. But when it comes to that business end, this is what's going to define legacies. This is what's going to define like how people talk about you after you're done. People are going to look back in hindsight and be like, do you know what? You was great for 2/3 of the season. But when it came to that business end, you didn't turn up. You was great right up until the final. But then when the final comes, you don't turn up. And it starts to become a thing of, was Salah really there when we needed him? So for me, it's not a thing. I'm not trashing Salah now. But this was one of those games where I was like, bro, your touches, your final ball, your passing, your shoot, nothing's coming off. It's like, can we not just go back to basics? Can you not get in your playmaking bag or something?
So this
is what I feel like top players do. They always find a way to get out of it. And it's like, he's one of the top players. They're not in the Premier League. But today,
this is my issue with it.
Stunk, brother.
With Núñez, it's almost like you're resigned to the fact that Núñez is going to Núñez. So when he misses his chance,
by the way,
really think
Núñez,
anything.
I think he's got 60 big chances missed in 2 seasons.
Well, listen.
Not 60.
I'm laughing and my club employs Jesus.
I know, you guys have Jesus
but
over
that
there.
is quite funny.
This is outlandish, brother. Like, to a degree we have never, ever seen. Even like the most diehard Liverpool fan, and I've always said, I respect the fact that Liverpool fans are willing to die for Núñez. But this is becoming tough.
Yeah, it's too much.
This is tough.
It's too much. But on the other thing, right? When Nunes misses his chance, you kind of expect it. Jota coming back from injury, you know what? I have to give it a play. Curtis Jones, he looked up, nosebleed. He's like, I'm not, old school FIFA when you're playing, be a pro and you're in the position, pass starts vibrating. He saw that. Salah though, it's like, it's almost expected that you have to deliver this or deliver in these moments for us. And like, the issue is, comparison is the thief of joy. And what people are going to do is they're going to say, when it was Hazard's time, in this moment, do you know what Hazard done? Hazard won Chelsea the league. He did what needed to be done. Do you know what Hazard did? Hazard went so hard that he made sure that he won the league for Leicester against Spurs. Big moments. He said, I'm taking it upon myself.
He's won titles.
Take that back!
He's won titles. You get me? When it comes to winning titles, that's what he does. But that is the difference. And I feel like today, right, I put a tweet out. I know Cam sent his voice note and he was saying that sustainability. But you have to address certain things. Liverpool have been behind in 18 games this season.
Yeah.
Comeback football is not always going to work. We laugh at Manchester United for saying that they have no control in what they're doing and what not, and it's not sustainable.
Yeah.
18 games being behind is not sustainable. 27 points from losing positions. That's the third highest in league history. That is not sustainable. All the Liverpool fans in the chat now saying that, we knew eventually, especially with Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace, the Suarez moment, everyone remembers that, right? It's happened again. That is not sustainable.
How is Crystal Palace your kryptonite? Like,
by the way, big up to
single
Wharton,
time,
who's
it seems
brilliant in
like
midfield.
Great player. Amazing player. Championship.
I was just about to say, that is one of your championship. Where was he at? Blackburn?
I think so.
And he joined in January? I think he's last thing? Because I saw him, who was it they played last week? I can't remember who it was they played last week, but he balled out as well. I think it was against City, wasn't it?
The last 3 or 4 games,
and I was like, yo, who the hell is this Wharton kid, bro? Like, I'm seeing him all the time in their team sheet.
Lerma was playing centre-half today.
Hey, listen, Lerma, Anderson and Klein today.
So they had a back three of a right back that was on reality TV, a central midfielder, and a centre back that's known for his ball playing ability.
Yeah.
And you're telling me that Liverpool, with all of their chances, still failed to score?
Yeah, I mean, Wharton was brilliant. I mean, the thing is, if the results were flipped, Arsenal lost first and then Liverpool went and missed that opportunity. Yeah. The point is, both results came in the same weekend and City are laughing at all of us. You're right, the fact that Arsenal's results come after, people are almost going, well, Liverpool maybe, bad day or whatever. But you're right, it's been coming. You talk about sustainability, slightly disagree with Cam. Like, you can see trends in football matches, and Liverpool keep going behind. 9 games or something without a clean sheet. I saw them. It's so difficult, because you don't want to be like one of those tactical nerds on Twitter who kind of overdoes it by going, if you don't control the data and the field tilt and the XG, then it's going to catch up with you at the end of the season. And there was something about Liverpool. They'd have 33 shots against Sheffield United or whatever it is. I'm just making that up, but it was something like that. And I thought, but Sheffield United had a few openings, And then you're thinking, that's a football match. You're looking too much. It's hope. But then you look back at how many games, Fulham 3-2 up going into the 88th minute, and then Trent from outside the box, whoever from outside the box, Endo, I think, they win that game 4-3. Yeah. Like, they've had their quality come through, but they're just ultimately not as good as Man City. So City's quality comes through to save them when it's maybe a 0-0 or a 1-1, they're slightly behind it set. But Liverpool's quality has come through almost like, you're thinking, without that you lose the game, let alone maybe a draw that City might get. Liverpool they've looked quite chaotic. I think Salah, he's unreal, man. He is a Premier League legend. I think he sort of embodies that chaoticness of Liverpool sometimes, where sometimes when it's all frantic and he's dropping the shoulder, he's leaving like defenders to ground, he's slapping one in top corner. He's also quite an unorthodox way of playing. I remember a goal he scored against United in that 7-0 win, where he turned and just walloped it with his laces. I'm like, anyone else would be setting themselves, he turned and slapped it. So he's got a slightly more unorthodox way, but he's unbelievable, undeniable world-class talent. But sometimes when the game is that chaotic Liverpool style, in a way that they're not actually winning, they're not getting the goals, it can look a bit ugly. Yeah. And I think Liverpool and Salah both kind of have that. And so I don't know. It's shameless of me to say this after we've lost, but I was saying, I've said it on this, in this room or DR Sports Roundup or on wherever it is, I've said I was always confident we'd finish above Liverpool because I didn't see them going through this run without dropping more points. Now look, the way we're looking, that might not prove that way. But there's something about Liverpool that I just don't trust, and Listen, no need
you
to
know,
trust us at this
you always
point,
felt
but-
like, you know, the farewell tour, as we were saying, first half of the season, he was like, yo, that's really what's put that jetpack in them. You can see them playing with that extra vim. They were able to turn results around. They were able to play without a DM, patched over defences. Alisson can miss. They've got that character and fight within them. I think that's the thing with Liverpool. You always think that character is somehow within them, so I never kind of rule them out.
Yeah.
And they've have the experience of kind of being in these races, but you just almost feel like now it's kind of catching up to them a little bit, of relying on that a little bit too much, a little bit. But
the thing is, Liverpool,
this is the game.
There's no. We can't go out saying that Liverpool have had a tough season, whether that's injuries.
Yeah, that
whether
is so true.
You know, like Klopp's announcement and everything. And for me, announcements. I want to ask you guys a quick question. What are your thoughts on announcements mid-season? Because Thomas Tuchel announcement was in January. Bayern went off the boil.
Yeah.
Emma Hayes, very similar situation to Klopp. On for quadruple, announces she's going down to probably 2. Klopp's down from 4 to the 1 he's collected potentially.
Yeah.
If they win the league, do you feel like announcing such big news to your players has adverse effects? Because from what we're seeing, if those examples, it's like the players' heads are kind of like.
Yeah, I remember.
There's a lot of emotion.
Pep did it when he was at Bayern going to City as well, I remember.
And how did the season end?
They wanted to win the Champions League and then ended up getting walloped, if I'm not mistaken, in the semi-finals by Madrid, if I'm not mistaken.
They lost all 3, Atletico, Barcelona,
Yeah.
but
So then what? So what are we saying? So those announcements.
I'm not a fan of it personally. I think obviously if it's in-house and the players know and things like that, which I think they did know at the start of the season, that's all that needs to know. And that kind of fuel they were playing with at the start of the season, where we're all thinking, where is it coming from? They obviously knew, so that's kind of where it came from. And I feel like you should use that as almost like internal motivation, rather than now it's kind of cat's out the bag, and it just kind of leaves that kind of air of you wanted a farewell tour type of thing, and everyone's just kind of can't wait to be party poopers, if that makes sense. If Klopp just lets the season ride on the final day, whether he loses the title and says, now I'm walking away, it makes it a kind of highly emotional day. If that makes
that's
sense.
the word, emotional.
And I think now you've almost kind of like made it, I don't know, it's a weird one. I'm not a fan of it personally, because I think it can have this effect potentially where people are just making you the target. Do you know what I mean? To try and party poop.
Do they have a choice? Like, if it's going to come out in the press anyway, then you kind of want to be. I remember
I think that was the case with Liverpool's
Emma Hayes' situation was that.
With Wenger, it was. I think Sky was the first place I heard it. You know, it was reports out. Wenger is leaving. It wasn't. He didn't get to sort of tell us. And the problem is, I don't think there's much they can do. But the facts are, the minute that announcement came out, the running became emotional. It didn't become, we got a job to do to win a trophy. It became, we need to deliver one more for Klopp. Everyone will feel that. So, look, you can channel that in a great way.
Oh,
but
apparently people are saying the players didn't know start of the season. Apparently they found out at the same time as the media. So
okay, well then that's going to add the. I don't
It's
know.
going to add emotion. It's going to add emotion.
Can't get away from that.
It's an interesting one. Let me go through a few more super chats. So we've got Rizwan Khan says 2 points off top with 6 games to go. It's far from over. I guarantee in 3 weeks all the 3 teams will be level on points and goal difference settling the league.
So can we say if City draw, that puts them on 74. Arsenal, Liverpool win their games, same points everyone. Goal difference. By the way, I don't think that's going to happen. But we're one City draw away from that being a reality.
The last title to be separated by goal difference was the United City one, wasn't it?
Last week, yeah. United one, yeah. KP Master says Arsenal 1 point performance against City looking great, huh? Holds that. You all overreacted over a classic park the bus Mourinho performance.
I'm not going to have this revisionism. That's the one thing. I'm not going to have us beating Liverpool and City at the Emirates and getting draws at their grounds, and people start telling me, you... Because we all know it went viral for a celebration of a draw. But it wasn't like, the job against them's done. That's it.
Yeah.
0 out of 6 points against Villa, good team, I hear it. 1 out of 6 against Fulham. Like that is where the points have dropped. West Ham at home.
I'm gonna ask you a question. So
go for it.
I don't want to ever compare this league to like the Scottish league or whatnot, but you know, like in Scotland, it's usually like the head-to-head between Celtic and Rangers decides where the league's gonna go and everything. Cool. The question I want to ask you is, it looks like these 3 teams are kind of like within their own little pocket. Everyone else is away from them. Is that the Samba run like the reason why your season will end however it ends?
quite possibly.
Or is it because you didn't take the initiative and just get across the maximum points against the big team?
No, I've got to look at the earlier points drop, guys. I can't talk about 2024, 10 wins and a draw in 12, which I still think is probably a better record than City and Liverpool have put up in their 12 this calendar year. I know City are unbeaten, but there's draws against Chelsea in there. There's a draw at Anfield. So I can't be looking at my team and going, yeah, it's this calendar year that's cost us the title. You had a bad day against the team going for the Champions League spots. Like, all right, it can happen.
Only second time you dropped points this calendar year.
Yeah, and the other time was Etihad. Like, so I can't be looking at that. I've got to look earlier at the season where we were figuring things out. Is Havertz midfielder? Is he not? Is Rice he was brilliant, Rice, but is he going to be the Partey or is Zinchenko fit? Jesus, whatever. It was that period of the season where no one quite knew whether Arsenal were in a top 4 race or a title race, and then we put together the run that cements our spot in one of those. But yeah, I can't look at the head-to-heads.
I can't lie. Do you know I feel sorry for Arsenal? Because in any other sort of like generation, if you're this team, you're not competing with this glitched City team.
Yeah. Aren't Klopp and Liverpool saying the same though for the last 5 years?
100%. That's why I feel like if this was old school Premier League, you can kind of rise your head above the parapet and win a Prem. But you can rise from the ashes.
United were that team, United were that team, bro.
They were, but I'm saying there was moments in history where you can just come and nick one and then.
I mean, unless you went crazy with billions like Chelsea, I don't think it was that easy, bro.
But I'm saying, look at what Arsenal are doing in terms of how Arsenal have managed to and like see it there, like you haven't got the players, you ain't got the manager. You can give it your best shot, and we're not going to be our greatest. And
Klopp on the title in his fourth year as well.
What you saying, Mikel? This guy's on there.
I think City lost 9 games.
I'm just saying.
I'll put it on that.
Ethan De Villa says Xavi Alonso doing what Arteta couldn't, sealing the deal. Real men are coaching. Ten Hag storming out of pressers, low. The end is near for that bum.
Hey.
Can we give a round of applause to Xavi Alonso?
No, fair play.
Hey, Xavi Alonso, champion of the week, man.
Yep. So it means that no matter what happens, at the time that they won, at the time that they've secured the title, they're unbeaten.
Crazy, innit?
Crazy.
Yeah, crazy. Does that count as an invincible? Surely
it's an invincible title, but not invincible season.
Yeah, just give it.
You have to go the whole season to be invincible.
I think if you're lifting that trophy without losing a game, from that point, who cares? They're going to be drunk.
But it's like,
but you got to remain switched on to the end. Because that's after you win now, all of a sudden, if you just start fueling the youth team, you lose 3-0, 4-0.
I wasn't an Arsenal fan. I wasn't an Arsenal fan. I was a kid when we won it in 2004. Yeah. But does anyone remember what weekend we secured it? Like, it didn't go to the final day, did it? I mean, so what was it with 3-4 games to go? Because I'd have been shamelessly going to do what you want after that.
No, it's because I'm kidding, obviously. You want the O at the end. That's the difference.
Of course you do, yeah.
And I think at that point as well, I remember Wenger was fascinated with the idea of an unbeaten
He said it 2 years before, didn't he?
And I remember people were like, you could never do it. And I remember when it was happening, I was like, he's really going to fucking do it? It's like, I can't believe this shit.
How old are you when that happened?
I can't.
I
cannot disclose that information, my friend. I apologise. But I was not a baby, unlike
Ajinka
MC. That young.
Ajinka MCFC says, there Mark Hogan from the Peep Show, hold that evening, #evening. Shy One says,
someone said 4 games to go. There was 4 games to go in that season.
Spurs going to win 3 out of the next 3. Fuad, what are your thoughts on that?
3 out of the next 3.
Doesn't help us.
Who have we got next, actually?
Whilst you look at that, SN1990 says Spurs to hammer final nail in Arsenal title coffin. Nadir says, I need more than 5 minutes on City today. Rotated squad, still won. Gvardiol banger twice.
Yeah, the next
also
three are hilarious.
Foden in the Bernabeu.
So we got Arsenal, we got Chelsea and Liverpool.
Yeah. Oh.
I will love it, and I think I deserve it.
Nadir's basically bigging up City. We'll go back to City.
Yeah.
SN1990 says, on Barca unbeaten since Xavi announced he's leaving. That is a very good one to flag. So that's worked in a different way for them. Great shout. Marco H says, I feel that our team AFC still isn't ready to win the league. The mentality required to win today was missing, and we have no clinical striker. Joe Fleming Mulford says, Arsenal will win nothing as long as they've got Arteta. James Barrow says, Arsenal on pack watch. Interesting stuff.
My poor team.
City.
You want to go see? Okay.
Comprehensive. Yeah. Shark team's out. The comments have said it. They smell blood. You can't write off City when it comes to this part of the season. Like I said it before, I think I could bet so many different items that City will go the rest of the season unbeaten, or they might just win the whole thing because they know they're locked in. The mentality is there. Even though they have new players in the change room, we've mentioned Foden so many times in this podcast. He understands what his role is now. You saw all of the olders done it. They're out of the game. You have to do it now. KDB, as you mentioned, he's in the hyperbolic chamber. Emergency break if needed. Come on, KDB, we need a bit more. They're in this zone where they just know that we can keep moving. And as much as Haaland has got so much stick this season,
he's still top scorer.
He's still top scorer. And let's not forget, we've sat here and we said he's probably one of the most, in terms of striker, clinical striker Premier League that's ever seen. We've held him as that. So if he gets chances, do you know what Haaland's probably going to do? He's probably going to score in this running. So you can't take that away from City. I don't care how he's performed this season. They are in a position where somehow, some way, again, even though people spoke on their name, said they've been in second gear, said that they've been sleeping and whatnot, they're now back top of the table again. You can't take that away from them. City are a different beast. And I respect how Pep is able to just pull things out of players at different times. I thought Doku's performance was quite mature for him in terms of what he did.
Nice goal, man.
I thought Grealish's performance, last two performances before that, he's starting to understand it a bit. So when it comes to crunch time,
even Guardiola on that left side,
yeah,
can't lie. Last couple of weeks,
he's starting to understand what it needs to be. So what is their manager doing? He's managing to get what he needs out of his players at the right moment. And sometimes when it's Pep, that doesn't get spoken about enough. You know, I won't lie to you. It's kind of like, oh, you know, world class players. It's this, it's that.
Do you know what it is? We're so almost like desensitized to City's success, City's comeback ability, City's ability to just string wins together. It's like when they beat teams 5-1 or 6-0, it's like, oh yeah, it's Man City, it's what they should be doing. But it's like, as you said, all season they've been kind of looked at as almost like, is this the year where they drop it? They don't really look the same. And I think we say the same every year. And I've always maintained I'm never ruling City out until it's game week 38, the final whistle is blown, and they're not the winners. Because one thing they've shown is no matter what they're going through, they're just figuring it out. And once they figure it out, they know how to go on runs. And that's kind of where you worry a little bit, I guess, as an Arsenal fan or as a Liverpool fan, where you're thinking there's 6 games to go now. I mean, City stringing 6 wins together is not impossible, bro. The only thing you're kind of praying for is Spurs are perennially their bogey team, so you're hoping that, you know, maybe Spurs can kind of spring a surprise there. But outside of that, I don't know how you kind of stop the City team. And this was just like a formality. This was just everyone come to the party type of game. Kovacic getting bangers from the edge of the box. I was like, oh, we're in that part of the season. Everybody eats. Okay, say no more. So for me, it was just a formality. And I think now it will be tough to dislodge them. That's the issue.
But again, I would like to say though, it's not over though, man. Anything can happen in this running, but when City are in that mood, it's long. And
let's have a look at the remaining fixtures, actually.
Yeah, whilst you're saying that,
I'll cry.
Whilst you bring that up, I'll say this. With me, Pep Guardiola's coaching in terms of like, you know, the phases of play, this and that, it's always praise. I don't think he gets enough praise for his managerial aspects of what he does. This last part of the season is not about coaching on tactics, you know. This is about managing your players. This is about mentality. This is management. You know when we talk about Fergie,
for people to go. I don't even want to promo it, but the Netflix doc.
Go
watch that.
Go
you know see how he talks to these guys on the training ground when he gets to the business end of the season and stuff. And you're like, oh, we all think it's X and O's and everything, but it's motivation.
This part of the season is about management. And I remember I saw an Arsenal fan on the TL tweet. It said that, Arteta, how can you manage these last few games? Because right now, the whole season, you know the tactics, you know what needs to be done. But how am I managing you to optimize you to get the best? Whether that is rotating the squad, whether that's picking the right starting 11, that's whether that's making the right substitutions. Coaching's out of it now. Now it's about, can the players stand up and can you be managed to do what you need to do? And I feel like once again, if Guardiola is doing this, remains unbeaten to the end of the season and gets a 4th Premier League title, we need to have serious conversations about not how he's just changed football, but how the guy's actually the real guy, man. Need to put respect in the guy's name.
Let me just read these fixtures quickly as well. So they got Brighton away, that's their next game. Forest away after that. Wolves at home. Fulham away. Spurs away, and then West Ham at home.
Yeah, enjoy the title, guys.
How many of those do you think they drop points?
You concede an title to that?
No, but I just think they'll win it. But by the way, I came in on a call in with KJ and Abby. Go check out that show; it's great. Fans can call in, have their say on this channel, and KG asked me to show chess. This is when we were on this great run. This is before Bayern. I said, how can I when it's City? Like, people want to do the whole, like, I back my team no matter what. I'm just being honest, they've won the last 3. Why would I back against them with the easiest run not to do it again? I'm not conceding the title, anything's possible. Like I said, when City won their first, it was a very uncharacteristic slip from Fergie's Man United, who had been winning titles. They were doing it again and again, and then a 4-4, what was it? Pienaar scored at the at Old Trafford, and 4-4 or something. They drew with Everton. You're like, what's going on? So things can happen. This is the beautiful game, but yeah, it's going to take a favour. It's going to take a surprise. It's going to take a shock. It's going to take something that, and then we have to go Tottenham. We have to go to Man United. So yeah, it's going to be really tough. But you're right about Pep, man. He doesn't get the credit for the things that almost Klopp gets credit for, or Fergie gets credit for, whether it be the man management, whether it be the more motivational side of the game. I also don't think his team gets enough credit, because they get credit for the great football they can play, tactically how good they are, the individual quality. What about unpredictability? Why is it I can't tell you next weekend if Foden's starting 10, right wing, left wing, false 9? Whether it's Alvarez up top or it's Alvarez on the left, he's probably not the best example. But Bernardo Silva, he played 6 at the Emirates, albeit they lost. But you don't know if he's going to be supporting De Bruyne in that midfield, or he's going to be out on the right. Like, you don't know is it going to be Ake, is it going to be Vardy? Or like, sometimes even they might have the same team, but they'll tweak it. No, we're going to build up with the back 4. Stones, you're not going into midfield this game. And that unpredictability, because how do you plan for that? So already you've got to stop what's unpredictable about how good these quality footballers are. How do you plan for what their approach, what they're going to do? Everyone always talks about the inverting fullbacks. I've seen Walker and Vardy on the touchline a lot of the season, hugging width. Saf Foden, Bernardo, De Bruyne can be closer to Haaland. That's the Klopp, that's the Trent and Robertson thing. But he's throwing a different way. So they're unbelievable.
That's without the sense of inevitability that you're playing City and you're thinking, they're just going to come in and collect 3 points. But I mean, hold tight City, man. Fuad, we spoke on Spurs, but I feel like we have to discuss it a bit more, because there's no way. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
I got away with it.
I'm so sorry.
Have fun with this now.
There is no way. You mean to tell me that you guys lost how much in Newcastle at the beginning of the season?
What? No. What, last season?
How much was it?
6 in 20 minutes.
6-1.
It was 5-0 in 20 minutes.
And then this year,
it was only 4. It was only 4. So one better than last year already.
Can you tell me what Van der Ven was doing on his backside, please?
Hey, man. Listen, my boy Van der Ven,
do you know I have to bring this up here? And you know me, yeah? You're my bro. I always try to protect you, but do you know I have to bring this up here? Because you stepped on the ledge and you said, Romero, Van der Ven, real men, yin and yang, let's go. Brother,
it's a good impression.
You see this year, this is where I feel like they're being hung out to dry a little bit. And I feel so sorry for Van der Ven.
No one tripped Van der Ven up, man.
Nobody tripped. Bro, the breast slipped, yeah. And you know when you're, as a defender, trying to do everything to get back up, he tried to use his shoulder. I said, yeah, this is how you end up a meme, bro. I don't know what's worse. That one, the Lisandro getting teleported to another planet by Salah, or do you remember Perisic versus Virgil? Yeah. Like, bro, it's so hard being a defender in the social media era. That's all I'm saying.
Everything is worse. You know why Van der Ven's worse?
Do you remember when Davinson Sanchez got made to look like a Beyblade upside down against Man City? Bro, we've been here before, trust me.
But the reason why this is worse is because, like, he looked like he got hit with a stunner, like,
bro. Because you know how the Rock sells
that's
it.
What I'm saying. He bounced off the canvas like this. I said
bro,
no.
It was so
and it happened
crazy.
Twice.
And the thing is before all of that chaos even begins, I'm already thinking of last season's fixture. I'm thinking, bro, we need to go there early doors, get a goal. We have, I think, an early chance that falls to the one player you probably don't want it to fall to in this team. And I hope that loan sign, I refuse to even say his name these days. I hope that loan does not get made permanent, because I feel like you need an early goal. Similar like today, if Arsenal got that early goal, it just gives you that kind of, okay, we can relax and play our game a little bit. I think the issue we have at Spurs here is sometimes against a low block team, and they play the back 5, we don't know how to break it down. And it's the technical ability of our forwards, in my opinion, where you kind of need some precision and some intricate play to kind of do it. I feel like Madders and Bentancur yesterday were kind of there in the build-up and trying to create something, but then you've got Werner, you've got Son, you've got Brennan Johnson, who aren't able to link that final ball or play that final ball, or just the touch doesn't really come off, if that makes sense.
They're
kind of more spacious players, space attackers, if you like. But I just feel like that is what's been missing in our attack. And so many times against low blocks this season, you'll see it, bro. We had 75 possession to their 26. They've got 4 goals. And how do they all come? Transition. Because as soon as we can't break them down, they're like, oh, you man got your players on the halfway line. And the thing is, it's not even halfway line. We're going beyond the halfway line. At which point I'm like, I feel like, honestly, I have to look at Ange Postecoglou for that. And as much as I love him, all the attacking build-up, I've been saying the past couple of weeks, listen, we've actually had a very good season. We've got an identity this year. It's all well and good. But that doesn't mean you have to be blind to everything that goes on. And since the start of the season, I've been saying those long balls over the top into the channel and that high line, it could come back to cost us at some point. And you're seeing it in games like this, bro. Van der Ven, both of those goals, bro, were copy and paste of each other, bro. And if you notice, even the second one, he was scared to put the challenge in because he was like, hey, I already got put in a Beyblade once. I'm not trying to be here twice. So it was just like, what the fuck is going on? It reminded me of the Fulham game 2 weeks ago where we got bopped 3-4-0. And it was like, we don't even look like we want it in attack. We don't look like we want it in defense. But I genuinely have to look at that high line that we're playing and have to say, and you got to take some blame for that. I'm sorry, because there has to be a sense of even, okay, play on the halfway line, but just drop a little 5 yards. I'm not saying drop it to, in front of the goalkeeper's box. But no, just drop 5 yards, bro. You don't need to be in the opposition. No matter how much you're dominating possession, there never needs to be a point where I see Romero and Van der Ven past the opposition's centre circle. What is the need for that? These guys are not going to hit me a 40-yard shot from the edge of the box, you know what I mean? They're just going to recycle possession, but they can do that for 5 yards further back. So, I don't know. We shot ourselves in the foot.
On the flip side, I'll big up Newcastle because they played a very intense, in-your-face and transitional-based football, which wasn't typically what you would associate.
Do you know what's annoying? Go look at their team lineup. Yeah. Man, Kraft Cheese were playing. Fabian Sharp.
Fabian Sharp was amazing, by the way.
Listen,
what's the name of the youngster? Is it Anderson?
Yeah.
He looked.
Is it Jacob Murphy?
He's that Conor Gallagher. he was putting a shift in there.
It's not man. But you know what, right? So firstly, big up to Newcastle because I felt a little bit of the analysis has been a bit lazy on them this season. I've never seen an injury crisis like it. They had one game against West Ham a couple of weeks ago where I think 3 or 4 players came off injured. And they are at the start of this journey. They got top 4 a bit sooner than people expected.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
actually,
the fact that they're sitting 6th and could get Europe again this year with the injuries they've had, I think you got to give them credit. Like Eddie Howe came in, he didn't just save them for relegation. He got them, I think, into the top half that same season that everyone thought they were destined to go down. Then top 4, injuries hit them. I know they finished 4th in the Champions League group. I thought they made a good account of themselves, to be fair.
Yeah.
The 4 goals against PSG, draw in Milan. What was it? They nearly got something in Paris as well. Did they lose or draw that game? I can't remember. They drew. Yeah. So they're
very much like you guys. They've leapfrogged at least 2 years of development.
Yeah, exactly. And because of the injuries they've had, I give them immense credit. Now, I actually thought you'd get something there, but I actually think I predicted a 3-3, so I'm not surprised that you can see the goals. On the Tottenham front, I'm an Arsenal fan, so I should just be trolling and laughing and enjoying this. But people are talking about Ange Postecoglou like it's not his first season as well.
Yeah.
And I sometimes think he's pretty blunt. Like he said, we're going to keep playing this way. Like I really don't care what you think. You guys can mention money in the top 4 race. I'm going to play this way.
Yeah.
I'm being very blunt with you all. So when we lose because of this way we're playing, it's also the reason we're winning games where you create so many chances. Udogie and Porro underlap or whatever. Now the problem is if in a year or two's time, it's still the same problems, and it's like, well, it's suicidal.
I think for me
football.
that's the issue because I noticed these gaps in our defence and how high we play. I said a byproduct of it is gonna be we concede a lot of chances, but it's a case of when you go through the whole season and you can still see that recurring pattern. At some point, I do want my coach to say, all right, maybe the fullbacks don't bomb on every single time.
He didn't do it and with 9 men against Chelsea.
And
why is he doing it?
I cannot lie to you. Ask him. I came in here saying that was the complete wrong approach to take.
I agree with
Not
you.
every time is it live by the gun, die by the gun.
Yeah.
Nah. Sometimes we grab the sword and we come out with that.
It was NFL stuff. Just Reece James popping
out
top.
It made no sense, honestly. And this was one of those games. I'm sorry, but Ange got it wrong. Players didn't perform as well. I feel like Basuma has been a shell of himself.
What is the... Because I'm seeing a lot of Spurs fans, big up Abby, a lot of Spurs fans are like, we're seeing Conte Bissouma again, and we're done with him.
Yeah, bro, I don't know what's happened there. I think since Expressions did that video of him kick game, it ain't really been the same for him, bro. I don't know. Maybe we need to run that back or something. But now, honestly, since the Luton sending off, I remember he came back and straight away he picked up an injury. Then he went to AFCON, so you hadn't really seen him. And then when he came back, he just, I don't know.
Another red at Forest. Then did he miss a game because of too many yellows? Maybe I might be wrong about that.
It's just he just honestly hasn't played with that same
conviction,
panache, if you like, since that game. And I feel like defensively he's looked sloppy. Possession on the ball, he's given the ball away so many times cheaply, not really tracking runners. And it's like, if you're meant to be the base and the protector of this back four, who's playing really high up as well, you're costing us at this point. And I'll be honest with you, I feel like Salah has been almost unfairly dropped in certain games, because obviously Bentancur's the bigger name, the more experienced player. Him and Bissouma, we're almost trying to force that combination to work, if that makes sense. But I really and truly think Salah is almost like the undroppable one. It's either got to be Bentancur or Bissouma next to him, if that makes sense. But Newcastle deserve their win either way, bro.
I've got a question for both of you before we start rounding up. You know this whole saying of when the season's done, like you are where you're supposed to be, or where you deserve to be. Do you think that's like an actual factual statement?
No, facts. It's factual. Like us being fifth right now, that's where we deserve to be. Like,
do United deserve to be where they are right now?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I think
you would have to say so, because you look at the teams in and around them, they haven't been any more consistent. They've been, West Ham, Brighton, Newcastle. None of them have really been that more consistent than United, have they? United have been just as inconsistent as them.
But United are awful.
I know they're awful. I watched them against Bournemouth.
United are awful.
But I've never seen a team that high up the table with that little clue of how they want to play the game.
And that many losses.
It's bewildering.
That is an example of.
I was really trying my best this week not to even.
There's
talk
a glitch
about
in the matrix.
Yeah. No, listen, I'm with you. I don't think it is a given that. Okay, obviously, if you win the title, because there's less margin for error. These teams are winning most of their games, so there's kind of less games where you can go, well, that. But when you're kind of in that area where everyone's kind of winning quite a lot, losing quite a lot, whatever. I don't think you always do end up in the position you deserve. Like I look at Man United. They've got individual quality, like Garnacho showed up when they beat Villa 3-2 at home, and Bruno Fernandes can put on a top corner every now and again. Højlund had that purple patch. But I'm with you. Like, I think what's unsaid about United's season, they too have had injuries. I'm not trying to make excuses when you look at the money they've spent, but they haven't been able to field a back four basically all season. It's been Lindelof left back. So that doesn't help with your stability and trying to build a platform going forward. But I agree, I watch them and I see the opposite of a high line. It's a high press and it's a low line. It's like, do you guys play? You play I know you play Football Manager.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know this. So if you watch Football Manager, you know when you go do your settings and they say, where do you want your high line? They've gone to the highest and the other and even on the graphic it looks wrong. I think even something comes up on Football Manager like,
are you sure you want
this doesn't, what are you working with here? And that's United and a lot to do this summer.
Listen, champs and duds.
Yeah, let's do it. Champs, I think Xabi Alonso without a
unanimous champ for Bayern. I think that has to be
Bayern Leverkusen as a whole. Frimpong, Xhaka, Grimaldo, the whole gang.
I want to give a special in that team. I want to give a special shout to our boy Fuad Havertz. Coming back from serious injury.
Florian
coming back from serious injury.
Never sold our stocks.
To perform like that. He got the third goal, I think it was. That's 15 goals and 18 assists.
Hey, do not let Pep Guardiola get his hands on him.
Boy, if Pep
when is he announcing he's leaving?
If Pep was to get either one of Musiala,
you see earlier on when I was talking to you about Arsenal, Arsenal are missing a player.
Yep.
That's the kind of player who, if Arteta really wants a title, Florian Wirtz, 120 mil, July 1st.
And it's a statement.
Bosh.
Oh, brilliant.
And it's a statement as well.
Yeah.
It's a statement.
You say third man in midfield, there it is. Odegaard and Wirtz.
I see it. Move Odegaard deeper, Rice 6. Listen to
Nico, Vini, Gundo.
Don't let me become sporting director.
I said Nico, Vini, Gundo.
I'm telling you.
Oh, boy, no, that's a champ.
If you lot was willing to blow 100 on Mudryk, that is worth 100 right there.
I want to give a champ to the West Ham teenager George Earthy. Well, he came on for his debut and left on like a stretch of like a neck injury, really bad injury.
Oh yeah.
Give him a champ. Hope he recovers well. Obviously, Isak. What more is there to say?
Somalia's very own, man.
Can he win the Golden Boot?
How's it looking? Do you know the numbers yet?
He's 2 behind Haaland. No. But Haaland could go and score 7.
I think Haaland's got it, in my opinion. What I've said, I was thinking about this today as well when I was watching the Palace game as well. I think one thing all us football fans we wish to see is an injury-free season from Isak and Elise. Yep. I feel like those are 2 players. If you get one full injury-free season, they are going to be special players in my eyes. And I think Isak, what we've seen the past 2 years, let's be honest, just from whenever he's fit, bro, you can see that guy's a supreme talent. I think a lot of Arsenal fans say for the number 9 position, they'd love to see him, but it's just a case of reliability, whether you can spend that money and then he guarantees you the appearances. But if you can get an injury-free season from those 2, I feel like you've got special players there, man.
Yeah, special players, shot, man. We got Andres Pereira as well. He got a brace out of nowhere. Like, pick him up.
Yeah, I'll shout them out just because
Villa away. That performance in the second half as well. I think they deserve some champs.
That's what I was going to mention because I mean I've come out, I've come in with my head steaming after that result. But Emery, who else? Diego Carlos at the back. I thought Zaniolo, Watkins, like they were big for Villa today. That's a massive to capitalise on what happened with you guys to regain that top 4 spot and then. Yeah, that's massive.
Someone said add Pedro Neto to your list as well. Injured players that you want a full season from. Yeah, Pedro Neto's on that list. Pedro Neto's
that's an Arsenal fans wish list. Pedro Neto's I've given up on Pedro Neto, man. He's just a you know the boxes that say fragile. Please hold this with care. That's Neto, man. I've given up. He's hopeless. So I know, but then, man, I don't know, man.
Go on,
Black excellence.
Go on, I interrupted you. Go on.
No, hey, you made me forget what I was gonna say now, man.
Say, bro. Duds?
Yeah.
Should we go Duds?
Yeah, let's go Duds. Duds, I think Spurs have to go. I think Ange with that high line.
Quick, he didn't want me to say it.
Spurs. Get in there. Quick.
Spurs, Liverpool, Arsenal fans for leaving, Anfield aura.
Yeah, that annoyed me as well, They're leaving early. Yeah. Like, come on, they've had one bad.
Yeah, they probably needed you to spur them on, so Arsenal fans can get a dud for that, or the match-going fans that left. Anfield, that's a serious dud this week.
Why?
Anfield. 2 losses. The aura, it just disappeared.
Yeah, European
I put the volume on my TV high. I got the sound bar, everything. I can't hear it.
You just reminded me what I was going to say. Another champ I was going to say from midweek, actually, I want to give Rafinha. I think I was caught by surprise by that performance, brother. I think if you said any player to turn up in that midweek big game as well, he shocked me there.
If we're doing midweek, I'll chuck in Scamacca then.
Yep.
Go on.
Showing West Ham that
Hey, throw your comments in as well. We'll read out a couple as well.
Yeah, Gasperini
as well. Get your champs and duds in. Duds, who you going?
Dud? I said a few just then.
Dumping my whole club in there. Arteta. I'm still hurting people.
Oh, man. I think that is all the... Oh, no. Duds officially Bayern Munich. Officially.
Yeah. No, right.
Officially, we gave him a lot last week.
Actually, I got another one, I think. Naby Keita. We have to give Dud to. Because today I saw a report of Werder Bremen was saying basically he's not in the starting lineup for the squad. And he just decided, all right, safe, I'm going home.
That's a dud.
I'm sorry. That's pure duddery.
What do you mean? He just went...
He just said, I'm not in the team, so I'm going home. He actually thinks he is that guy. And I'm sorry, that was the team who obviously Leverkusen went on to batter 5-0.
Yeah,
it's like, hey.
Was it 5 today? Is that how it ended?
5-0, brother. Yeah. 5-0 it finished.
I've got a special dud for Gary Neville.
Why? What do you do?
So, Gary Neville once said about Mustafi, Socrates and David Luiz, let's be clear about this. These defenders like Mustafi, Socrates and Luiz are uncoachable. Manchester United have now conceded more than that defence.
Yeah. And I always felt the David Luiz discourse was so unfair on him, but
that is duddery from Gary Neville. Rio Ferdinand gets one as well, because Rio Ferdinand was giving Mickey van der Ven all the prop in the world, and what happened?
He jinxed us. I'm telling you.
Just did.
Jinxed us. I'm telling you. He jinxed us. I'm telling you. Oh yeah, I'm telling you, reminds me of me. Bit of a Rolls Royce, you know what I mean, mate? Yeah. Shut up, lad. Focus on your centre backs, man. Willie Kwanwala looking like a Beyblade, blood. Fix him up before you talk about Van der Ven, man.
Oh, man.
Do you know what's so funny, though? That was one thing that killed me, yeah. Van der Ven got cooked on a Saturday morning, yeah, and everybody was laughing.
Yeah.
I saw Arsenal defenders doing mannequin challenge for Diaby's goal. Yeah. I saw Virgil doing Steven Gerrard impression. I saw Kwanwala looking like a Beyblade. I said, yo, every centre-back this week had to hold something.
Yeah, didn't that Luton defender take one in the face for the Haaland bicycle kick? You know when you're thinking, like that's...
That goal was so funny because it was like the first 50 seconds, yeah. Doku took a shot deflected. Haaland took a shot deflected. Said, I'm going in by force. By hook or crook, I'm going in. 1-0.
Pep's magic, man.
Oh, listen, man. That is the end of another episode. Actually, quickly, whilst you're here, Arsenal fan, Champions League, are you going through?
Delusion or not?
Go on.
I think we might.
Aliens.
After the game the other night, I thought we might do something, but we don't respond well to. We do 2-3 bad games in a row before we come out of it. But why not? Whereas well, nothing else to play for. Well, we do, but yeah, we'll do it. Penalties. The draw out there. Pens.
Wow,
that's tense.
Big shout. That's big
shout.
Right,
a hero.
We're not winning it in 90.
That's a big shout.
We'll go through.
What do we think's happening in general? Who's going through? City or Madrid?
City.
Yeah, I think I had Madrid going through in this tie, but now it's tough.
It's different at Etihad, isn't it?
Tough.
Yeah,
it's tough.
It's not easy.
Yeah. I think City will sneak through unless Bellingham or Vini can do something magical.
What, the Ramadan blessings just pass over to Bellingham?
we need
Instead of doing this, Bellingham does this.
We need Vinicius to have Pep like on his knees. But do you remember when they
crumbled on the counter attack?
Just he fell on the floor, and there was still like 30 seconds to
go. Someone's just written here, and it's so true. That's what I asked it. Bayern Munich also have nothing to play for as well.
That's so true.
Great.
I had Arsenal to go through, and I think I've got Bayern now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Other ties, PSG, Barca. Is that a gone conclusion?
I mean, that one. I'm actually very closely. I'm watching Mbappe because that first leg was not good, brother, and I'm sure he knows it.
He knows, yeah.
But second leg, I expect him to rise it.
He will.
I'm expecting they're going out with Mbappe guns blazing. Put it that way. If they do go out,
he's a narcissist. Last but not least, Atleti.
Yeah, I think Atleti giving Diego a 1-goal lead. I don't care who you are.
Shoot El Cholo.
Do you know
that ain't a fight you're gonna win.
Do you know, I'm gonna back Dortmund to do it. There are chances there, man. And
they did in the second half.
If he goes prime Simeone, he's trying to protect this. And I don't know. I think they'll get one back at least. So yeah.
No, it'll be an interesting one. I'm sure there'll be coverage across DR in some way, shape or form. Make sure you like, share and subscribe. We have a little something dropping soon, you feel me? Make sure you're keeping peeled on our socials.
Hey, big special actually.
Big
special. Trust me.
Yeah.
Turn your notifications on.
Yeah.
Socials as well. Make sure you're following that as well, because there'll be teasers dropping all over the place. But
exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
stay tuned.
One, man. I think we should have the full band back next week. But James, thank you so much for making
thanks
FCM debut.
Definitely have you back on again.
Amazing
soon,
debut, man. Amazing debut. The knowledge, the intricacies. That's what it's about, man. But listen,
they say they want representation. I mean,
man. We've given you various Arsenal fans, man. This is what we do, man. Different angles as well, different perspectives. But listen, like, share and subscribe. We will be back next week. The running for the season is going to be entertainment, so you already know what to do. Lock into DR, lock into FCM. We're out.
Don't mind.